Hello there, Internet. How's it going? Welcome back to the show. Thanks for clicking on this one. My name's Pat Dan, and today we are back on our favorite website, Reddit Gets Drawn Badly. Welcome, welcome. Today we've got Kun Salir. That's definitely not how you say it, but that's how I'm gonna say it. Asking for a portrait. Show me what you got. I honestly, I kind of jumped the bit. Oh, sorry. I kind of jumped at the bit when I saw this one. You don't see a lot of darker skin complexions on Reddit Gets Drawn Badly. If you've been around the block, you know what I'm saying. If you've perused the selection, it's a lot of lighter complexions, a lot of people who don't necessarily share the same skin tones as this gentleman here. So I was very excited to see something like this pop up on my feed, and I was like, you know what? I don't even care if he looks like funny or interesting. I'm just gonna do it because I don't really get a whole lot of opportunity. Just now realized that there is an integrated co-pilot feature on MS Paint. I don't know if you guys saw that just now, but I clicked on it and it popped up with co-pilot. Not ideal, not exactly like something I want to be seeing, but I guess it's there, so now we're gonna have to deal with it. That was trying to play on the word ideal by saying that's not ideal, but we're gonna have to deal with it. That was kind of what that was. Um, just in case, I like to kind of explain the joke after it's been said, because I'm not a huge get the joke across first time kind of guy. I kind of need to ease my way into it. That's typically how I work. I think that this little opportunity to practice with a darker complexion on this here fellow, this here gentleman, he looks very stoic. I'll say that he looks very stoic, but I'm sure he has like he looks like one of those guys where like once you break the walls down, like he starts going crazy. Like he seems like a really uptight kind of guy. Then you get to know him and he's just like absolutely insane. Like he's like absurdly freaky, and you're like, dude, like you're gonna need to reel it back. Like I know I was telling you before that you need to go a little bit crazier. I know I was telling you need to let loose, but I didn't realize that you had this in you. You need to pull back, my friend, like right now. You're scaring me. Like that's the kind of vibes this guy is giving me. He's got a dark side to him that he doesn't show typically to the masses. That's kind of that's where he's striking me. Just I don't know, the look on his face, the way he's got like a slight indication of a smirk on that face there, like he's trying to hold back a smile because he doesn't want to seem too chalant. He wants the internet to see him as the nonchalant fellow that he presents himself as in his day to day, and he's doing a good job at it. I'll give him, credits on that one. Kudos to him for really letting it shine. He's doing a fine and dandy job, I would say, of tricking us into thinking he's nonchalant, but really I see behind the mask. I've witnessed the true man that resides behind this facade that he puts on, and I know who he really is. So he tried to hide, but there's only so much you can do when you're up against a sly detective like me. About sly detective, not necessarily in like in a bad way. I said sly, and when it came out of my mouth, I was kind of thinking, that's a word with some negative connotation. I'm not saying like a sly detective, like I'm going behind people's backs and doing stuff I shouldn't, like, breaking the law kind of detective. I'm saying like sly detective is in like sneaky good. Like, like you don't expect me to be as good as I am just based on my goofish nature, and you see me and you're like, okay, this guy's just like a goofball. Like he's not a real guy. He's here so that they can say that they hired a detective, but like we all know this isn't the real deal. Nah, I'm the real deal. Okay, I'm a sly, sneaky good detective. Is what I meant by that. That's fully what I meant by that. Anyway, speaking of sly, I've recently, not very recently at this point, I say recently all the time. Recently is a big word choice that I like to use just because it makes me seem, more in the now, more up to date, more in the moment. I'm actually not an in the moment kind of guy. I'm more of a dwelling on the past kind of individual. And I've been thinking just now, as of 2 seconds ago, about this character that I remember by the name of Sly Cooper. I don't know how many of you guys know about this guy. Sly Cooper is like a raccoon, I think, or like a fox. He's like a sly, you know, gray animal. So I think he might be a raccoon. Not many sly gray animals out there. Maybe a squirrel. He could very well be a squirrel. He's got squirrelish energy. I feel like he's got a tail from my memory, but I could be wrong on that one. Sly Cooper, I heard about him in like a singular video, right? Like one time I heard about him in a single video. And I was like, oh, Sly Cooper, I haven't heard that name before. Very interesting. And I kind of took note of it because I was like, that's a funny name and also a game character that I didn't know. It's a game character, by the way. And I was like, huh, very weird. And then I just like kind of went about my day. I was like, all right, forget about it, just another thing in the long list of things I don't know. Not uncommon for me to learn that I've been going my whole life without understanding an entire facet of human culture. So I just went on with my day. Little did I know, I had entered a wealth of knowledge that would not soon pass. Okay. I went about my day and not like moments later did I hear someone else reference Sly Cooper. This was pretty crazy for me because I'd never heard of this guy before. And then it was like twice in the span of like a couple seconds that this guy's name was brought up. Who is this Sly Cooper? Have I suddenly transported into a different dimension where Sly Cooper is the name of a famed game character? I've never heard of this guy. Apparently, real guy, very real guy. I looked him up. I didn't really look closely, but I looked him up and I found real guy. He's made a couple games. They made a couple games about this guy. So he does indeed exist. It's just that I never, got the chance to acquaint myself with him. So I'm just kind of bringing this up as an example of a phenomenon that I feel I've been like noticing more and more recently, just because I've been focusing on it. And I think it's probably something other people have experienced too, if I had to guess. So I'm kind of bringing it to you to ask, is this like a real human experience or is this just a me thing? You know, when you learn new pieces of information, right? Like when you find out something where you're like, whoa, I've never heard of that before. This must be super niche. Is it common that you then start witnessing it everywhere else you go? Because this happens to me all the time. At least it feels like it happens to me all the time. Like I'll learn a new word, like rambunctious. Like I'll be like, huh, rambunctious, never heard that one before. And then I'll like go live my life, and then someone just out of nowhere will say the word rambunctious. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Literally no one's ever said that to me in my entire life, and you're just going to come out and say the word rambunctious after I just learned about its existence? Am I living in a simulation? Am I living in it? Very rarely do I question that. Usually I'm on the side of life is real and not a simulation. When stuff like that happens, you really start to think, is this really, a genuine experience, or is it manufactured by a machine? Like, I don't know. It's a little suspect. It's a little bit suspect. But I don't know. You guys let me know. Have you ever experienced that yourself, or is this just a weirdo Pat Dan thing? As a lot of things apparently are. I just have some freakish life experiences, I guess, that no one else can relate to. It's kind of my thing. But just something to sit on. By the way, I don't know how many of the people in the world are going to be aware of this thing, but I have kind of recently been doing a deep dive into this new game that I had heard of before. Like it had been on my radar in terms of the fact that I knew it existed. just based on hearing the name. I knew nothing about it though. But recently I was like, you know what? This is a game that I remember hearing about, and for some reason I feel the need to go back and, pick up the pieces, figure out what all the hype's about. And by the hype, I mean like the couple people I heard saying its name. This game, you may be wondering, is Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress is a colony simulation game in which you control or, influence the actions of a few dwarves who are trying to create a fortress, right? Makes sense. Very, very sensible and true to the name. But I didn't realize until I really dove deep the complexity of this game. It is not your typical colony sim. Like I'm aware of its, you know, I'm aware of the things that have taken inspiration from it, which I didn't know had taken inspiration from it. I wasn't aware of the game itself and the sheer absurdities that it contained within it. It is like actually insane. And the fact that like I haven't really heard a lot of people talk very deeply about it is crazy to me, because Dwarf Fortress has like a simulation like that is so insanely deep, it's impossible for me to comprehend. Like there was an anecdote that I heard, which I think is probably one of the most famous anecdotes about the game, because I've heard it so many times at this point from all the videos I've watched, where there was a bug report that was saying like my cats are dying and there's just a bunch of dead cats on the floor. Why are there so many dead cats on the floor? I haven't done anything to the cats to deserve this. And they were like, huh, what's wrong? Why are all these cats dying? This is weird, right? Like, why are cats suddenly dying? It's not something that should normally be happening. So they dig into it and they find out the dwarves had been going to the tavern, and the tavern keeper had lost a finger. That lost finger led them to frequently drop glasses of alcohol onto the floor. The cats would then walk into the tavern, they would get the alcohol on their paws, and they would lick themselves clean, ingesting the alcohol. And one of the numbers was a little bit scuffed in the calculations, and it would cause them to instantly suffer from immediate alcohol poisoning and die, no matter how little the amount of alcohol they ingested was. And I heard this anecdote, and I was instantly, I was instantly hooked. I was like, whoa, this game is absurd. Like, you cannot tell me something like that and then expect me not to buy this game. So I bought the game. And not only did I buy the game, I played it for the better part of 2 days straight. And it was honestly pretty good. Like, no complaints here. It was a fun game. Only issue I had with it was that before the 2 day play session, there was a bit of time investment. You might be thinking, wow, 2 days straight of gameplay, that's a lot. You might be thinking, that's crazy. That's too much. I would never invest that much time into a video game, especially in a colony sim about dwarves. That's just insane. Take a chill pill, cool it, pal. And I would first tell you, stop screaming at your screen. You look like an idiot. But I would tell you, you don't know the half of it. It not only took me the 2 hours of straight game, the 2 days, sorry, of straight gameplay, but I also invested 2 days before I even started the game just watching straight up tutorial videos on how to play it. Because the game itself is so complex that I was afraid to give it a shot just without any forewarning of what I was about to experience. So I went in and I watched some tutorials. Call me a freak. Call me crazy for wanting to enjoy the game. You do whatever you want, say whatever you want. I've heard it all. I know I'm an insane maniac because I wanted to play a game in a way that was fun for me, okay? It's fine. I'm here to tell you it's fine to do whatever you want and play a game however you want, okay? Many people won't allow this to happen, but I'm here to make a finalized statement. It's okay. Do it. And because I am of this mindset nowadays, I've come to realize that this is how games should be played. I did it, and I learned a lot. and it really allowed me to enjoy that 2 day straight gameplay of Dwarf Fortress. Here's the thing about Dwarf Fortress. It is more of a game second and a simulation engine first, right? So the game aspects of it are kind of just put in so that people will buy it, but the actual core of it is kind of like a deep seated simulation that has been in development for 20 years. More than 20. Actually, no, I think it just had its 20-year anniversary. So like 20 years of straight development where like the devs, these two brothers, have been doing nothing but working on the game. And it's been their life. And they've been like crowd up until they released it on Steam in 2022. So this has been a long standing effort. This is not like a simple little indie game. This is like real deal stuff. And no one has ever talked to me about this game. Like, why has it taken this long for the world to bring it to my attention? I mean, I guess I've had opportunities before, like people have mentioned it, as I said, but like no one ever walked up to me and said, bro, just play it. Like, it's good, play it. I was always under the impression that it wasn't a game that was worth my time. And the name Dwarf Fortress, it just seemed lame, to be honest. It seemed lame to me, which I guess, it's a fault of my own. But I've been just consuming straight Dwarf Fortress content for like the past week straight, and it's been grand and glorious, and I've really enjoyed my time. I think it's taken over my life in a way that is unhealthy, but at least I've been having fun, and fun is half of life. Really, no, that's not true. Fun is maybe like 5% of life if I had to guess, but in my life fun is half of life because I live in such a way that is much more awesome than everyone else. So, suck it, fun haters. This is my world, is what I say to you. Now we go in with straight black. We straight black in it. Just FFF, is that what black is? Oh, it's 000. Stupid me. What is FFF? Like just straight Fs on what is it called? Color code? It has a name, right? It does. It's like, it's not, someone smarter is going to know it, and they're going to be screaming at me right now, but it does have a name. I know it does have a name, so I'm sorry for not being able to spit it off the dome like you. I'm sorry I'm not as smart as some of the freaks out there who just know everything. I apologize. This is not like a very accurate portrait. He's very wall-eyed. He's very absent in this rendition, which I think is fun. I've been doing this thing where I'm not worried about accuracy, and I'm just worried about having fun and having a good time, and it's been doing me wonders. It really has. But on the Dwarf Fortress front, I got a little distracted. I have like had some fun times just going through it and trying to make sense of the story that is unraveled just due to the intensity of the simulation in all my forts. Like it's a really fun game. If you are a NEET, right? If you are a NEET, which stands for not employed, being not in employment, education, or training, I think is what it stands for. If you're a NEET who's online and has no life, play Dwarf Fortress. Just like play it. It's going to instill a sense of wonder in you that will restore your faith in humanity. It really did restore my faith in humanity. And you know what is crazy about it that I kind of also realized upon experiencing it and watching the interviews is just how much of your life like you can just straight live on. Like you can live an entire life online in the matter of like a couple days. Like it's crazy. It's absolutely insane the amount of information that is just out there. Like you can read like 6 Wikipedia articles and have the knowledge that it would take like a grown man his whole life to acquire in like the Victorian era. You can learn all that in the span of like 6 seconds. It is absolutely absurd. Because I was watching one of the interviews with one of the developers, Tarn Adams, I this really sounds ad-ish, but I'm obsessed with this game, and that's why it's coming off like that. Uh, so I watched this interview, and he was like, "Yeah, when I'm implementing these crazy features like density of every single stone ore of the 20,000 stone ores that we've implemented into the game, and like melting point of all the irons and the bronzes and the steels, all the metals, is what he probably said instead of going as long-winded as that. But like when he's implementing crazy stuff like that, and like implementing procedurally generated dancing, like he's looking on Wikipedia, like he doesn't go outside, he doesn't experience life like to learn these things. He goes on wikipedia.com, makes an article search, reads it up for like a week or two, and then he just knows it. And then he just knows it, and he can like go his life with that information and just live life with that knowledge. And like that's just something you can do as a modern man. You can just learn stuff, zap it into your brain, and then do stuff with it. That being said, you can also do the exact opposite and like brain rot for the rest of your life and sit bed rotting and just like hating everything. Like it's a double-edged sword for sure. But I mean, the amount of possibilities are absurd. And you know what else is crazy about the internet? Like there's a wide proportion of people on the internet that maybe you never even thought about, that are like absolutely zooted when they're writing everything that you're reading. Like think about that. I thought about this the other day, and it like changed the way I look at everything online. Like, because I see so many comments that are like, you have no idea how funny this is when you're high, like stuff like that. And like, ha, funny, funny, funny. Like that's a funny comment. Like I can imagine how funny this must be. Like this guy must be having a good time. But then I realized how many of those I've seen. I see those all the time. Like, what is the portion of people who are watching Good Mythical Morning right now and are just blasted out of their mind? Like, how crazy is that? And then like you can be responding to somebody like on a message board, right? And you just have no idea that they're like so high up in the sky. You know, they're touching the moon, and you're none the wiser over here. You're sitting here thinking, wow, we're just two normal guys having a conversation, fully sober, just fully, living life to the fullest. And you're none the wiser that this piece on the other end isn't even giving your full it isn't even giving their full undivided attention to you during this conversation. Their mind is preoccupied with like, how many hot pockets did I put in the microwave? Has it been in there for like 10 seconds or 10 hours? Is my house about to explode? Are we actually all just reptiles wearing human skin? Like they're in another planet, and you just have no clue. And since then I've gone through my internet browsing experience with the assumption that everyone is just blasted out of their minds, and it makes everything a lot funnier. It also makes seeing people upset on the internet a lot like easier to bear, because I'm like, okay, this guy, he's gonna wake up tomorrow morning and he's gonna read this and he's gonna be like, what was I yapping about? Like I don't even care about Hello Kitty. Why was I screaming that they changed the design in the new season of Sanrio? Like what? I don't even know if Hello Kitty has a TV show. I'm just spitting off the top here. I have no idea of what I'm talking about. But if you take anything away from this one, just remember to treat everyone that you ever talk to online as if they're on the greatest trip of their life. I think it'll make your time here a lot greater. By here I mean the internet. In any case, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so very much for your time. I've been Pat Dan. You've been great. And until next time, kick rocks, pal. Bye-bye.